first time we're fighting it, and it's not even the second time we're fighting it. So the first time this horrible idea came to the forefront was in 1996 when the king of bad ideas, Mike Harris, proposed jets at the island airport. So thankfully he didn't stay in office too much longer for all of Ontario. And then, in 2002, Mayor Mel approved a bridge to the island airport, and City Council voted for that. And then in 2003, Mayor David Miller ran on a platform to kill the bridge to the island airport, and he won. So that was win number one. Then in 2013, Rob Ford and Porter Airlines called a game for jets at the island airport, and that's when NoJetsTO was born. We were a grassroots group of concerned citizens who came together to say, nothing about us without us. We are going to get up and we are going to fight and we are going to save our waterfront. So we spoke to people from Scarborough and Mimico, all across our waterfront, all across our city. We got tens of thousands of petitions signed. When people were knocking on the door in the 2014 election, people would answer the door and say, you better support NoJetsTO to the prospective councillors. So even the conservative councillors were on our side. And NPP Chris Montano will talk a little more about that fight in a little bit. But, in 2015, the new federal government got elected, and they said, we will not approve jets at the island airport. So that was victory number 2. We won in 2015. So all of a sudden, Doug Ford gets up in early March and calls for jets at the island airport, just super aggressively, completely out of the blue. So when we win this one, it's going to be win number 3. And Jane Jacobs says you have to win a fight 3 times. In order for that battle to be fully won. So that's what we intend to do. And on that topic, come out to our James Walk May 3rd at 11 a.m. where we'll walk around the island airport and get you situated with the current fight. We'll also be at Fight Forward April 25th. I don't know if you went to the last Fight Forward, but there were so many amazing jets and cardboard jets that people had. I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of gravy planes this weekend. So, as I said, I was stunned in March when Doug Ford suddenly announced this sudden interest in jets at the island airport. Where did this come from after 8 years of being in power and not a peep about this? But I think now I understand. It has something to do with what got announced on Friday. It was his gravy plane. The Toronto Star announced that they would have to expand the island airport's runway in order for that gravy plane to land at Billy Bishop. So now I get why he's so hot and bothered for jets at the island airport. All of a sudden. Just to verify, I checked Hansard. So from 2018 to March 2026, how many times do you think Premier Ford mentioned the island airport? Anybody want to guess? 0! Ding, 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 winner. Exactly. So, this is not a coincidence. And this weekend we got loud and we grounded the gravy plane. And I know we can win this fight too. And it's going to take all of your voices. So, no jets for Doug Ford and no jets for Billy Bishop. There, sign a petition, grab some NoJetsTO material. I came with quite a heavy load of things, and I hope my load going home is a little lighter. Help yourself to a sign if there's any left, and please lighten my load. That would be amazing. And as you fill out the petition, take extra care to reach out to your federal representative. They are the backstop of this. If Premier Ford is successful at becoming part of the tripartite agreement around the airport, the federal government still has to agree. So take extra care in reaching out to your federal representatives. One response we've been hearing back from them is it's a different time, and maybe it's a better time for jets. And I would say it's actually the reverse. It is a different time in 2015. We now have the Up Express that gets you to Pearson in 25 minutes, and we have a beautiful revitalized waterfront that is soon going to house tens of thousands of people and help to solve the housing crisis. So, we have invested billions in the waterfront, and it's returned billions more back. That is the crown jewel. That is the right investment, not just a Billy Bishop. Ed Moore from Waterfront for All is going to be speaking a little bit, and his group helped to uncover the environmental assessment that Toronto Port Authority had done on jets at the island airport. They finished it. I'm sorry, I just called you. I'm just going to talk about something for a second. But this environmental assessment was done 9 years ago and buried by the Toronto Port Authority. So why it took a Freedom of Information request to make it come out, I don't know. But that is not transparency. part of the proposal is a jet every 2.5 minutes. A literal Pearson on the lake. So we have to get up and say no jets for Doug Ford and no jets for Billy Bishop. To talk a little bit about that historical city council perspective, and I'm sure some other amazing things. Thank you so much for having us here.